Sweet.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh, good stuff.
Take off the headphones. Wonder if it's any better. Oh, that's probably a bad idea. Don't mind me just eating. Can you hear me well on this or no?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Okay, good. Alright, I just added so you can screen share now too.
Nice.
Okay.
Are those honey stinger bites?
Oh god no.
Oh, there we go. Okay. A good second best.
Not candy corn specifically, pumpkins.
Yeah, I like the pumpkins. Those are the way to go.
Alright. So, what's going on?
Oh, you know.
Oh, you want which side can I can move the video around.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm recording this to OBS too.
Nice.
Well, at least this entire second screen. So,
Oh, so we can have a video synced up with it, huh?
uh-huh.
All right. All right.
Right.
So,
Everything's
do we
open.
want to just dive on into it?
Yeah.
Do we want to do our little musical intro?
Dude. I feel like we should change that. Or no, we should just keep it for now. Oh, we need a new one. Put it that way. So why don't you start off? Yeah, go ahead. Placeholder.
Welcome back to the biannual LiftTalk podcast.
What's
That's right.
biannual with a B?
Come on in twice a year for our exclusive twice a year performance.
2 times.
Two times a year.
That means it's also 10 times the price of admission. So.
Yeah, when was the last one we did? I think we did one. It wasn't
was it
that long ago.
July?
It was like
it wasn't too bad.
no.
It's just COVID makes everything seem forever now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not our fault.
Again, it's a mass pandemic. That's the fault. All right.
So we'll try to avoid pandemic talk. I mean, it's hard to like
Avoid it. I mean, we'll pepper it in here and there. Let's not focus on it. How's that?
Everyone will get a good little dose here and there to kind of keep them on their toes. It'll be like a little Easter egg that you find during the episode, where it'll kind of like come up and you can make a drinking game out of it too.
Oh god, that'd be a bad. You'd be drunk pretty quick. You'd be drunk pretty quick. It's basically become like like it's in your normal nomenclature now. Like it's English. Like you know what I mean. Like it's so
Yeah.
You can't escape it, man.
Ugh.
Well, that's a bad soundbite there too. Like you know what I mean? Holy god. Anyway, moving on.
All right, so
let's
do our non-pandemic related updates, personal updates, non-personal updates, podcast.
Oh, what happened? Hey, stop that. Hey, what's going on? What the hell's going on?
You muted me.
Sorry, I didn't. I meant to move video. There's like a three over. There's an overflow button, like the 3 dots, like right next to it. And I just, god damn it! All right, all right. So how do I move you?
All right,
let's do this. Damn it! No. Sorry. Oh god, I'm fucking stupid. Come on. Okay, we'll just do it this way. I guess we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, I think this is the third episode in a row that we've done that's on a new recording platform.
Yeah, we're gonna set records for basically switching systems here.
We're gonna try every single audio platform out there before we settle on one, and when we settle on one, it's gonna be freaking Facebook Live or something.
It'll be the worst one, trust me.
It'll be MySpace.
By far the worst one. MySpace is coming back, baby.
Napster.
Hey, man, don't knock Napster. It was a great service.
Yeah. All right, so non-pandemic related updates for both of us.
You just said it. Drink a shot. I'm
Non
keeping track.
non whatever related. Are you gonna do like? Are we gonna do
Should
little
do a
dings?
tally. Yeah,
A little ding.
I'm trying to get like a soundboard.
Yeah.
All right, so
So
non-related, non any of this
non
related.
that thing related,
Yes, all right, much better.
personal and podcast. Um. This was a project for me that started a while
Ooh,
ago. I don't know if I ever talked about it on the podcast, but I found an old Trek 920 frame that it's an old steel frame. It was when the 920 was like a mountain bike. I think I did figure out what year it was. I think it was
94.
it's close to that. I think it's late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what it was. You can tell by the head badge, but I destroyed the head badge, so
He can tell because he knows. Yeah.
um so that I stripped that down, took all the parts off of it. It was kind of like meh parts, and it was all in pretty bad shape. The paint was kind of in rough shape. So I peeled that off with our good friend Citrus Strip,
Yes,
which
that stuff is
yes,
freaking
Ed turned
amazing,
me
right?
onto that, and that
Oh,
stuff works awesome. You
if you
just
want to
let
strip
it
a
do the
bike
work.
in the worst, dirtiest way, you can just do it. That you
Yeah.
trust us, you know.
Little disclaimer, because I did get this question actually. I have not tried it on carbon.
Oh no, I would.
I
Oh no,
don't know that
that's.
I would trust it on carbon
I would not do that in
because
carbon.
it's pretty darn aggressive.
I don't even know what the process would be for carbon. Like, do you need like those green Scotch bright pads? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to get too much friction and rub a hole in
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
maybe just live with it and paint over it, or do like a wrap.
yeah. I'm sure there are chemicals that you can use out
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but I don't know what they are.
Also, you can't eat it. Don't eat it.
It does smell like citrus,
It
but
smells really good. Don't eat it.
yeah, even like walking through the spray of it
Yeah.
is not good.
Also, kids, please do this kind of work in a well-ventilated area.
Yeah, like your dark, dingy basement or your like Harry Potter spot under the stairs. No, don't do that.
Your hair. You have a creepy stairs spot,
Yeah, it's where Harry Potter lives.
and all your front derailleurs.
And all my front derailleurs.
Banished to the spot under the stairs, pieces of crap. Anywho, so you had a
So,
I had a 920 I just sold actually. It's that small.
yeah, you found that one. What were you gonna do with that one? I thought you were gonna do something with that.
Annabelle outgrew it, and I was like, oh,
Ah,
my stepdaughter, and I was like, oh, I'll do something with it because it's small. I'll make it like a beat-around bike, and I was like, this is too nice to even touch. It was like OEM fresh mint, but just like like slightly like sitting in a basement. Like it looked like it was never been used. Stock Max's
yeah,
tires, like everything was new, and I was like, I'm gonna get max value for this thing by somebody, and somebody bought it for like $300. So Craigslist, thanks again.
yeah, yeah. It is. Uh, you
I could have given you the whole drivetrain, like probably
well,
for
well,
almost
no.
nothing. You know what I mean?
I have to say about you selling it. How much did you sell it for?
$300. I'm not even joking.
That
I have
is
the ad.
phenomenal.
I have the ad somewhere.
And guess why? Everyone, raise your glasses.
Oh, here we go.
That's because the pandemic. It is
I
a
made it.
stupidly good seller's market right now.
I've made a legit killing out there on bikes. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, if you can find a bike and get it rehabbed and sell it, or really anything, like people are buying up bikes like crazy. I don't think I have to tell you guys because probably a lot of you guys have experienced this. But
Come
we
on, you guys all
will
still. You guys already have bikes. Come on. But yeah,
we will
nobody can get more bikes.
probably. It, again, I want to avoid this pandemic discussion. There's another drink.
Is it? Is it just? Let's call it logistic discussion.
Logistics? I'm not done with my updates. Let me finish my updates.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Then we'll get into the nitty gritty, meaty, dense stuff. Because this is some good fluff on the top
Oh yeah.
to kind of pull people in, get people interested in like who we are
Gotcha.
and like what's going on in our lives. You know.
All right. All right.
and get people interested in like. No, they're not listening for this. They're listening for the meaty stuff. But anyway, the meaty stuff will be later. So if you want to get to the meaty stuff,
Hold your
skip
horses.
ahead. What do you think? Like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, go
And
ahead. We'll even make the noise. There you go. All set. No problem. You know.
so anyway, I've got it all painted and it came out awesome. I experimented a little bit with we did like a base coat of pink on the frame, and then did like a kind of a pastelly orange as a dip, and then like kind of did some work just like fading it in. Um,
Let's see.
so
I'm gonna see if you got pictures on.
I haven't posted any because I don't want to
Dang.
post any until I have like the full process.
I
But
respect that. All right.
I have all I really have to do now is I have front brakes to install, and then get everything adjusted and wrap the bars. So
Any special bar wrap you gonna use?
I just found some. It was really a color thing for this one.
Isn't it always?
It is, but
Yeah.
this one was a tricky one to find colors for.
Really? I mean, I thought that
Yeah.
scheme sounded fairly. I mean, oh,
Yeah,
I guess.
but it's such a like the shades of pink and orange are so like not common across things.
Yeah.
So even like I did,
It's like almost like a pastel.
yeah, exactly. So I did like pink petals and bottle cages, which are pretty darn close, but they aren't quite the right pink.
There
But
we go.
the orange bar tape I found, I think is going to be pretty close. I think it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. Expect to see some pictures of that coming probably in the next week or so.
Yeah, drivetrain's ready. That's all that's left is ancillaries, brakes, and drivetrain.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Handlebars and everything. Yeah, dude, come on, get on that.
Yeah. Build on that, as Ed and I have discussed very frequently, is the ever capable, ever affordable microshift advent stuff.
Stuff's good, man.
1x9. I guess they have a 1x10 now. Like stupid low price, stupid adaptable. Drop bar, flat bar.
$167, I think, for the drivetrain.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
I'm gonna make some people mad, maybe.
Uh-oh.
But I would rather have the microshift advent drivetrain than a SRAM SX Eagle drivetrain.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean SX. Yeah, I'd probably take microshift over that too. I think anything below NX, I'd probably take microshift over.
Which is just SX.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So long and short, yes.
Sorry, SRAM.
I mean, it's quality stuff. Like I haven't actually used the flat bar shifters yet, but I mean, from what I've seen, they're awesome too. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. I hope that it becomes a stock option on more bikes, because I think it's going to really lower that like higher performance 1x mountain drivetrain to a lot lower price points, so that people buying mountain bikes people buying less expensive mountain bikes don't have to have horrible drivetrains with a triple in the front.
And like immediately have to upgrade to something better.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's coming with the microshift, I think. Like a lot of the mail order gravelish new kind of cheap gravel bikes are coming with microshift a lot of times, you know?
Yep. Which is awesome to see.
And they make a brifter left side that I use, by the way.
That uses a dropper.
That is a dropper actuator. It's awesome.
Yeah. So there's that. Related to the painting, we are going to set the goal again of finishing our lift ticket.
Yes.
So that should be fun. I'm pretty sure we have all the parts for that. We just need to paint it and get it all together.
Yeah. I have the fork in my basement, but we have a bag of parts somewhere, I think, right in tires.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking at the wheels right now.
All right, yes.
I don't know where that bag of parts is.
Yeah, but I mean, it's in someone's possession.
We'll figure it out.
I'm assuming,
I hope
right?
so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
No one at Spark was like, I'll just throw these out. They're all hoarders too now.
You never know.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I think I brought it home. We'll see.
We got to rebuild your spearfish you were talking about too.
Yeah,
You got a bunch of
so
stuff coming up, huh?
the spearfish, that's my salsa mountainy race bike that I use for downhilling sometimes and just everything in between.
Because why not?
Um, yeah, it works. I have the TRP 12-speed drivetrain. I think I've chatted about that already on the
Oh yeah,
podcast.
I like TRP, but you didn't go
But
TRP brakes.
no, I think for brakes, eventually I want to put some Shimano's on it. I think.
Yeah, when they become
Um,
available,
yes,
in this logistically challenged times,
yes. Why are they logistically challenged, Ed?
just because of certain events that have possibly happened
Do you want to give
worldwide.
people a reason to to grab that glass?
I didn't mention it. I just said the logistic reasons.
All right, so people can take that as one if they want. Uh,
Drank.
this is but yeah, I have that TRP drivetrain. I've had it kicking around for a while because I don't want to put it on without also overhauling the entire bike because it needs it. And I have been putting that off for 6 or 7 months now.
And that's how things get broken, ladies and
And
gentlemen.
that's yes. Um, and I'm sure once I break an axle or something, then I will finally do it. But for now,
Good time to maintenance my bike right now.
yeah. And I'll do it like the night before, like a ride or something.
Be that guy that's constantly fixing his bike the entire ride.
Yes. But yeah, for now it's that'll be coming up. I've got to get like bearings for the suspension and get all that taken care of.
You got a bike list to go down, man.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Yep.
holidays are coming up, man.
Yeah.
And you're working down that list.
You're working, checking it twice.
I hope to God putting together bikes.
I can't wait to get the Christmas bike out again. That'll be sweet.
Oh, I forgot about that monstrosity. I mean that in the best, most loving way, too, by
Best
the way.
way.
It's literally like a Hallmark card at 21 miles an hour downhill. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A true nightmare.
A true nightmare. Ouch. So, yeah, that's I mean, we also have like it's a tricky time obviously because we've got like events coming up that we've been chatting about doing that may or may not happen at the moment. I'm not too optimistic about it.
Doesn't logistically appear so,
No, but I'm gonna sign up anyway.
Yes.
And roll the dice on it and see because I can still hope.
There's
Even if
always
it's
hope.
even if it's a little bit and not much hope, I can it's like you're making a wish by signing up for it. So
Yeah. Throwing your money down a well.
yes.
But then you can't go back in the water to get your money when the wish doesn't come true.
I mean, you could.
You could, but then you'd be that guy. No one wants to be that guy.
That's true.
That was normal cough.
Yeah, I think what else would it be?
Exactly.
Okay, good. The only other thing I could think it would be a logistical challenge.
Now, do you actually mean that, like you're getting there, or what? Physically with bikes?
No, I meant your cough. Your cough is a logistical challenge. That's the only thing.
Take a drink. Take a drink, folks. If you scratch mixture, I'm saying.
So the main event on my list is MidSouth. It's a gravel event. Yes, I know. Welcome back to GravelTalk.
GravelTalk.
It's like 100 miles in Oklahoma, red clay, and like the pictures look amazing.
The stories sound horrifying, but
yes,
the pictures look amazing. What could go wrong?
Why can't it be both?
Porque no los dos.
It seems like a lot of these event promoters that are putting out these kind of like potential events are being pretty cautious about it as far as their expectations and what they're planning on for like contingencies and stuff. So it's encouraging to see that. Like they are all at this point planning on not having events, if that
So
makes sense.
contingencies everyone's planning are basically virtual, right? Like we take would you
Yes.
take pictures of timestamps or something?
Yeah. I'm sure it depends upon the event, but it's good to know that they're all thinking about these things and being a little more proactive about it rather than reactionary,
And
because it's
logical, yes. Yeah, instead of
yes.
reactionary, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The entire point of
Um.
it.
Yeah. Instead of yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mess we have. But anyway,
So there's that one. Obviously, once we get the lift ticket up and running, like I'd love to do Winter Woolly again, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
it's even closer.
Um,
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Winter Woolly
Ah,
is in like February, so I have my doubts. I don't know that any normal event running will be happening until next fall at this point.
all there is are like guerrilla
For
events now. You know,
logistical reasons,
logistical reasons. Drink, folks.
but yeah, that's what I was. That's what I've got.
Gravel
Little
race.
rundown.
I'm kind of I'm really kind of annoyed we couldn't do it, but I'm not expecting we're going to. But I just want to race like that anywhere. Although, I mean, it's kind of flat out there, so you really get the experience out here. But you could probably make something comparable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, so that's we were talking about that. Like if we don't um go out there, if we don't end up going down there because of logistical challenges, um, that's another one, folks.
Drank.
Just because it's a euphemism, it still counts.
Count it. Count it.
Um, but yeah, we were talking about our own contingency as far as doing a big stupid gravel event up here where it's just a few of us that just kind of go out for 80 or 100 miles, link together everything we know up here, and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a cool like um, we'll kind of do it on the same day or something. Um, and,
Call it the logistical compromise. There
the
you go.
logistical compromise. Um, so yeah, we've got. I mean, yeah, it's still pretty bleak, but
Wow, that was a convincing tone. Yeah, it's definitely bleak.
it's a little gray out there, but
People are listen. Everyone's adapting. We're all still on bikes in
yes,
some capacity, whether
get
it's a
through it.
Peloton or if it's something. So even more so, I think now than before. So
Yes, yeah.
human beings are adaptive. We'll be all right.
Speaking of, actually, a little news transition here. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Breaking news.
Breaking.
Speaking of Peloton, did you see the Peloton news there, Ed?
Wait, there's news about Peloton other than it exists.
There is news about Peloton. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen here in a moment.
Moment.
Please hold.
See Peloton news.
All right.
Let's see.
Peloton recalls pedals on 27,000 exercise bikes after
Holy shit!
injuries.
How many injuries? One.
It just says reported injuries, so it's not giving me a number. At least 120 consumer reports of pedal breakages, 16 of which involved leg injuries. Okay.
Their stock dropped 4% today.
Yes. I wonder why.
Uh,
So interesting development on the Peloton versus real bike fight. Peloton has issued a voluntary recall on pedals used on about 27,000 of its exercise bikes because of a reported. This one's good. Laceration hazard.
I feel like. All right. First of all, I feel like riding my flats is laceration hazard every single goddamn ride. No. I mean, am I the only one that has legs that are destroyed by these things? Like, come on, like, get over it. Enjoy the lacerations. It's gonna make your shins tough,
Oh, this is a different kind of laceration, though. Peloton acknowledged the axles on these pedals can break unexpectedly during use.
Oh, that's gotta have been brutal. I want to see photos. You think there are any?
Or a video. A
Let's see.
video would be even better.
Oh, catastrophically failing while you're doing like a Watts test. Peloton injury photos. That's in my Google search history now.
5 of those injuries required medical care, such as stitches to the lower leg.
5? I've had stitches in my lower leg for slipping getting out of the car. Well, I mean, I guess I'd sue Peloton and get some money too, I guess, right? Oh, that's why we're not going to find any images. They're part of a fucking legal case. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
But anyway, 27,000 of these. It is an interesting little development. Not that it really matters. I think the indoor exercise bike wave will continue.
Absolutely.
Just like the bike boom is continuing. I don't think this might slow Peloton down a little bit, but there are plenty of other exercise bike companies out there as well.
That's true.
And at the end of the day, they'll all be fine.
And honestly, it could be something like, I mean, a million more people are on Pelotons. So, I mean, this happened once when 7 people rode Pelotons like a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could just be a scaling up issue where everybody just now gets hurt at a massively faster rate.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure that's part of the issue. There is the massive upscaling that they've been doing, and probably not been able to keep up with their quality control on some of these pedals.
If quality control on the pedals even exists in the first place.
Well, yeah, exactly. If they're just trying to output the product, then they might be having challenges with that. But anyway, I thought that was a fun little news tidbit there. Moving on to logistical challenge related news. That's another drink, folks.
Drink.
Drink.
Hopefully it's a scratch drink. So
what are you drinking tonight, Ed?
Up.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking water out of my off-brand hydro flask.
Okay, but if you were to be drinking an alcoholic drink right now, what would it be?
Oh, definitely whiskey.
Okay.
I should just go get it right now. See how hammered I get still by the end of this thing. Probably pretty drunk at that point.
Especially if this next discussion is a sign for how much we're going to be talking about this. As far as supply chain goes, what do you want to say about supply chain, Ed, with our current logistical challenge?
It's just everything's maxed out right now. Like we were talking about, you can't get parts, you can't get Shimano brakes. I'm like, Shimano brakes? We're talking about brake pads.
Yep.
We're like finding those. Like it's just everything's coming in bursts. Everything's being almost like a bait and switch. I think we talked about this at one point where I've actually bought stuff that vendors have said is in stock, and then I'll get an email like 3 days later when it was supposed to have shipped, and like, oh, that's not in stock, and I'm like, then why'd you say it was in stock on your website if you don't actually... Like, drop shippers are just getting exposed, that's all. And it's just kind of, like, annoying because everything stops flowing. Although, that being said, I did grab these hoods.
Oh, some lever hoods. So this is the interesting thing, right? Is
cheap
that...
and quick.
Yeah, there are, like little parts like that still out there.
Yeah.
One of the things we were talking about that was an interesting side effect.
This was also readily available.
Ooh, KMC 11 speed chain.
But yeah, like you said, the small things, but...
Yeah. Well, so, like, one of the interesting things we were talking about is how Shimano, in a big way, because they're such a big company and big brand, very much standardized a set of brake pad shapes and sizes, right? So, because so many brake pads out there, so many bikes have Shimano brakes on them, this brake pad style, and again, Shimano has a few of them, but there's one or two in particular that are super popular and like super standard across the board, which in normal times is like, okay, cool. So if it's a Shimano brake, or if I have a bike, it's a pretty good bet that it's going to be one of these brake pads. For Shimano, it's probably going to be one of these ones. For SRAM, it's probably going to be one of these ones, because they have been largely standardized in that sense. But the flip side of that we're seeing now is because they're so standardized in that way, if you have one of those brake pads, you're out of luck, because everyone else also has that brake pad, and they snapped them up first.
That's so why diversity, I guess, in products and like brands and variation can actually be important,
Well, yeah, it's an interesting kind of like flip side to how the industry has been going, which is towards fewer standards because fewer standards are easier to work with in a normal scenario. But all of a sudden, we have this flipped scenario where that is causing us issues down the line.
To say the least.
The uh, the other thing that I have found interesting about this whole scenario is bike lead times. Um, a lot of obviously a lot of bike lead times are way out, right?
Yeah. They were saying
And
like if you didn't get anything in, it's possible like fall 2021, and you can probably order one. You know.
yes, and so there's been a lot of talk of companies just calling just basically from now any of these bikes that were going to be 2021 bikes will just be turned into 2022 bikes. So it'll be the same bike. It's just going to get labeled as 22 because that's when it's going to actually arrive and come out.
But won't it be less cool?
What do you mean?
I mean, you already know what it is. It's no surprise.
Oh yeah, there's not going to be.
Basically, you should skip a year, a model year.
I think that's what is happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
is because here's the thing: these bikes are already in production, right?
Yeah.
To a large extent. I think for the most part, like most of our bike models across the board are not going to be changing much between, say, 2021 and 2022. I would say um, some of the higher end models that they might have been experimenting with and setting up as a 2021. Maybe a company will just hold off on releasing it until it's a 2022 when they actually have them in stock. But the other interesting aspect about this whole thing is you don't really think about it, but it's not necessarily the bike manufacturer holding this process up, right? Because if you think about
I mean, it's basically
like
like everybody running on the thinnest razor edge of efficiency, trying to not hold inventory or
yes,
hold the correct amount of inventory, and then when something like this slows, it's like a traffic jam. One of it's going to cause burps down the line for who knows how long, you know?
yeah. Well, if you think about say a factory in Taiwan, right, is sitting there selling their product, selling maybe a company comes in and uses their factory to make 100 frames of their bike, right? So first of all, you have that one factory or two or three factories or whatever taking care of all of these companies. All of a sudden, time is like there is just not enough time to be churning out these bikes, right? There's not enough time to be churning these out. So that factory has to look at its list of customers and say, okay, which one of these is going to be the most profitable for us? Which one of these is going to be the most efficient? Which one of these accounts do we need to work more for?
So it's people who get the more money, they're going to get more say. Look at that.
I think at the end of the day, yes. Now this is all fair warning here. I have no idea.
These are the
I'm
rantings
just
of a madman. Do not listen
yes,
entirely to
exactly.
him as face value.
But but I think that also comes down to say a company actually does get some time in, they get some frames made. Cool. They have the frames. Now they have the frames sitting there and they go to say Shimano and or SRAM or Microshift or TRP or whatever. And those companies who are in the same boat as far as trying to make parts and trying to figure out how they can most efficiently make parts, then look at their accounts. And there's an account that goes to consumers as like an aftermarket part, and there's an account that goes to the big bike brands as an OEM
Like an
part.
OEM piece, yeah.
Yep, and they have to look at those accounts and figure out which like how they're going to allocate that product. And are they going to allocate it to the the company that placed that order the earliest? Are they going to allocate that product to the company that's paying the most? Are they going to just allocate it in a kind of communistic way as
They should
far
just
as
roll the
like
dice
you get
or
one, you get one, you get one, you get one?
battle to
Because
death, have a battle
if
royale. Everybody gets a knife. Everybody gets a chain ring, and if whoever lives gets the contract.
oh battle, you said battle royale. I was thinking whoever wins the Fortnite tournament.
or
gets
Among Us, something.
gets all of the derailleurs.
That's your victory.
all of the Shimano tourney
The
derailleurs.
tourneys, yeah, piles of tourney. It's the worst. That's the crappiest. It's gonna be the crappiest prize of anything in the history of anything. A
But
pile
anyway,
of tourneys.
that's kind of what we're dealing with here is, and I would be super interested to see the conversation that's going on in these like boardrooms where they're saying, all right, who do we give these parts to when we have them? Because I think that's a fascinating thing we have going on with this whole parts shortage.
I mean, there
Yeah.
must be formulas for prioritization. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wonder how much of it comes down to these guys suck or they never do X on time.
Well,
You know what I mean?
and I would love to see as well like the list of parts that are holding these bikes up and like their dating. So
Like a seat post. Like we're not going to give
exactly,
it to you.
it could be that minimal at the end of the day, and it's I don't think it is in most cases, but
I wonder if we'll see a lot
the
more brands trying to go in house now, if that's even a possibility. I mean, it's to
I
kind of buck that as a bottleneck.
I don't know that many big companies are going to like reallocate their labor to like domestically, like to the United States. But
Yeah, that's a
I
good point. If somebody was going to do it, like say if I was making $10,000 bikes, I'd definitely just get seats, $30 seat posts stamped out somewhere in China.
yes, I do think this could be an opportunity for smaller brands to kind of more quickly adapt and figure out solutions for this. Again, the other challenging part of this is it's not just those frames, right? So a US based company that comes about and says we're going to fix this and we're going to make these bikes quicker than everyone else is going to have to figure out what they're going to do for a drivetrain because Shimano is out of parts. So
a good point.
they'd have to figure out not only how they're going to make their frame, which is fine. Okay, they figure out how to do that, but they're also going to have to make the bottom bracket, the crank, the derailleur, the other derailleur if it's got a other derailleur.
We found this
Probably the wheels.
We found this cheap new company from China. It's called Timano. It's very good quality.
Shimano.
Don't even worry about it. No relation.
But I think there's a lot going into this whole I don't want to say debacle, but let's call it exactly a logistical challenge. I think there's a lot going into it that people don't really think about, and I find it really fascinating to think about. Yes, it's a huge pain, but it's super fascinating too. These logistical challenges.
There's going to be so much data that people are going to be pouring back through over the next 20 years after this is all like kind of passed. It's going to be ridiculous.
Well, it's an interesting, like almost a strike against globalization, right?
Or, I mean, if you want to go really into it, is it really a strike against globalization, or is it a strike against globalization when done at the lowest possible bidder for the most possible profit? You know what I mean? Like, this is obviously a result of a worldwide cheapening out on everyone's part.
Oh, okay. So you're
shitty.
A communist. Okay.
I mean, when something that's this globalized, which is, I mean, what we are today, it's something that's this interconnected, is treated with such fucking disregard and like blatant, like I want to do it cheaply. This is obviously what you get. This is trying to keep like a rusty car on the road for not wanting to repair it or put money into it and just hoping it passes inspection and doesn't kill your family while you're driving around, So, I mean, it's just I feel like there's no one it's everyone's kind of like has a piece in this, the blame in all of this,
Yeah. Yeah.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. All right.
It's my non-denominational rant. So yeah, logistical challenges.
Yep. So what are we up to? Is that like 7 drinks, or are we past that?
That's at least 6 or 7. I hope somebody else is keeping track. Although they're probably getting at that point if they've been drinking, they're not keeping track.
Remember to smash like and comment below.
And hydrate. Also hydrate.
How many drinks you had? Also like eat bread and stuff. I guess to like
bread.
soak up that alcohol.
We need to put this on Twitch next time. We should have done that. We should just do that now. But I mean, we should do it and then do the just actually live stream it. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we need a soundboard for that.
We can probably do it through OBS, each of us, right? Or even if I can stream directly to OBS, even if I get your video feed captured here, I can take and output the screen and the audio both.
There's a reason
OBS.
that you're doing the recording part, Ed.
I'll shut up now. All right, so actually, let's. Where are we in here? Traveling rides for the pit. All right, so basically, we didn't really go over that, but
yeah.
Do you
so
I
had
there?
Yeah, sure. I had a question about this because I saw you were. I don't mean to like expose you.
Expose.
Like
a wound.
You were all over the place for a little while there.
I was during the worst possible time. My friend moved out to Utah, and like a year and a half ago, I agreed to like help him, and it's basically one of those things where I'm like, okay, this is happening, like regardless.
Oh, so he moved out.
Yeah, he picked up a Mercedes Sprinter van, to build out as like a bike van, and packed all of his crap into it, and we just drove out there, hit Colorado, and then went to Utah. It was,
okay, so it wasn't like a joyride. It was like I have to help out this friend and then joyride.
It was basically like beeline, don't die, get there, and then you can probably relax and acclimate. And I will say elevation is not a joke. Beware of that. I thought I was going to die the first day I was there, like legitimately.
Did you rent an e-bike out there?
Oh no, it's all legs. It's all legs, baby. You got to get the respect. You can't ride an e-bike around those people. Come on, man. The hell, you got to show them what East Coast's like,
East Coast.
I mean, after like 2 or 3 days, I was back to basic riding fine. Yeah, like it was like. It was almost normal then, but still the elevation was crazy. But driving out there wasn't really bad. I mean, we stopped, we peed everywhere that basically we could because we're dudes. We could just basically be outside. I mean, mostly we're bathroom. Like there was so many bathrooms that were basically empty.
Yeah.
At like rando truck stops. Truck stops are creepy always. Especially at like 1 a.m. They get a bunch of weird shit in there. But yeah, it was a super interesting trip. I'm glad it's over because. Oh God, it's just sketchy being like out amongst people when
Yeah.
All things logistically considered. Drink. The riding out there is absolutely epic, though.
Yeah, those pictures that you were posting made me dream of easier days when we could travel.
Oh my God! At the second this is basically like ease, I want to go back out there. It's 1,000 times worth it. It was probably the best riding I'd ever done in my life, especially out in Utah. Those trails out there was wild. Pretty sure I rode over a snake at some point too.
Yeah.
Didn't see anything like bears or anything crazy. Actually saw bears in New Hampshire, but that was before everything. Yeah, man, that's West Coast is no joke. Colorado is amazing too. Some of the best natural trails I've ever ridden. They have trails that are like single use, like bike use only. So no hikers, no horses, and they have bi-directional like different days with different directions.
Huh.
So it's a downhill trail this day, so you can just fly, and it's an uphill climb trail another day. So there's a lot more hikers too. That was the only kind of downside, because we almost killed some people. I guess sometimes we really go pretty goddamn fast. But yeah, it was amazing, and everybody kind of escaped without injuries. Definitely worth it at any point after this, or during it if you're bold. It doesn't matter. You made a promise to somebody, I guess. Unfortunately, like what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we can't judge your life choices.
I mean, everyone judges everything anyway, so what does it really
matter?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we can. Yeah. we can judge.
Feel free to judge the shit out of me because I would judge the shit out of everybody else, But yeah, I think. We missed going to Moab just simply because it was too hot when we were there still. And they were like, yeah, you don't want to go to Moab because it's like 110, 150 degrees right there right now. And like, you want to go with a group. If something happens, you're like 20 miles out in the desert, it's not good. So now I have to go to Moab, I guess, Sucks, I guess,
Yeah.
Just got to do it though. I missed it. And now I have a reason to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good, and I'm looking forward to basically like slowly making my way out, possibly next time, or to this MidSouth gravel ride. You know, I mean, 100 miles. I
Could
mean,
be
it's pretty out in the same similar. I mean, the westward direction, I guess. Not really
the
similar,
Western
but
world.
I mean, it's enough of a trip that it's an adventure. You know.
What are you munching on? Are you still munching on the
You friggin' know it. Look at these things. Brock's
little
pumpkins. It's like candy corn,
pumpkin?
just 5 at once. You know.
You gotta send me some of those.
This is why I'll never ever be lean. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
And it's totally worth it.
oh my god, it's totally not. They're so disgusting. Ugh, but they're so good. I'm not gonna lie. At the same time,
They are. That is definitely something that has crack cocaine in them, and that is why they are so addictive.
absolutely. Ugh. Yeah, so I'm kind of, now that you mentioned that gravel ride, I'm getting more and more like into like the distance. Oh, and I bought gravel bike and then sold it, and then built another one.
Yeah, walk us through that whole process, because that happened real quick.
It was quick. I got one of the pre-orders, one of like the last pre-orders of the Poseidon X complete bikes while they were still in stock, and it was for limited after, I guess, because of the logistically challenged events.
That's a drink.
Drank, but I still got it. I think July. I want to say mid-July.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It was a great bike for what it was, and it was like mind-blowing for how fast it was coming from any other bike I've had. But like I quickly felt like, you know, all the shortcomings basically of mechanical brakes, just kind of a lower end frame. The build quality was weird. The paint was like unfinished or like missed, like when some spray missed one of the parts on the top.
Smaller
but-
tire clearance too, right?
Actually, they would fit. I guess all the psycho people in the forums would be able to fit the 700 by 43 GravelKings on it and a couple of other like, larger ones. I guess it all really depended on the size, width of the rim to make you know, how bulbous it would be flared out, basically. And the through axles, I mean, the QR on that was basically when you would go really hard, say down like a hill or a corner, a sweeping turn, and you'd really go to put the power down, you could feel the rear flex or just kind of the rear end jump kind of. And it was just super disconcerting, and like I just couldn't get used to it and didn't want to get used to it. So I was like, whatever, I'll sell this because the market's awesome right now. And I found a cheap gravel frame from a company in England called Merlin Bikes for like $400. I think it was $440 shipped, right? So I sold the Poseidon for like just under $900. I think it was a $799 bike. But I put like a dropper I had laying around on it, right, in that drifter. So I'm like, it's basically even, or maybe I made like $50, $75 off of it. So I just took that and rolled everything over into the other bike. And I'm still ahead by like $200, $300 even with all the ancillary stuff. So
Nice.
I mean, I did have a donated drivetrain. Shout out to Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy.
Fucking A. I'm gonna get a sticker on it now that says Tommy M Edition in the like a matching color, or like on the fork in a black thing. That'd be so cool. But yeah, I couldn't have done that basically without him. So props. And now that I've used it, I know we just got done talking about how good Microshift is, and it is good for the money.
Yeah.
But now that I've been spoiled by Ultegra,
Oh yeah.
I mean, even though it's a 2X, it's still like the fluidity and the smoothness, even of a used setup.
Yeah.
I'll take that. You know what I mean?
They do a good job. Yeah.
Although I will say my girlfriend has a checkpoint with GRX on it, and it's actually very similar feeling. And I think what GRX is, her GRX is one gen newer than this.
Yeah, but I
Ultegra.
think so GRX has, I think, 3 or 4 different price points that go all the way. Yeah, that go all the way down to.
So it's a entire
Sora,
separate lineup. Then,
and all the way up to Ultegra.
so they have GRX Ultegra now too.
Yes, but it's just called GRX, and then you can tell by the model number that it's the Ultegra level GRX. And they have a Di2 GRX, and I'm pretty sure the one that's on that checkpoint is probably going to be.
Let me hear it.
Do you know how many speeds it is?
I say it's 11 speed.
It's 11, so that would be like the 105 level
Yeah.
GRX, I think. based on what I remember.
That bike
about
is.
that one.
I think we talked about this earlier. That bike is something else at that price point. I'm really like impressed, kind of. You know, I mean, I guess you could have come in under it or did, but I didn't get like a mail order bike brand. But the fit, finish, quality, and like just general well put togetherness and feel of the bike is beyond.
The freaking sweet paint, bro.
That paint is awesome. That's carbon. The bare carbon fork, where you can see the swirls in the carbon, was a nice touch too. I will say, and I like the accessory mounts. Like she has more bottle options than me, which pisses me off a little bit on the frame.
All right, so that's GRX RX 400.
Okay.
Which is 10 speed, so that would be the equivalent of Tiagra.
And that's ALR4, right?
Yeah.
I was actually looking at this. There's an ALR4 frame that's like Miami blue and yellow and orange.
They have, yes, yeah.
I was tempted by that, but I think it was like double the price of this frame. But the color was so much better.
Yeah.
It is so much better. I like the tires that it came on, but they're not tubeless ready. I guess I don't know if they mean the rims, or if the tires. The GR1s, the Bontrager GR1s, are just tubeless, not tubeless ready. I don't know if it's just like I gotta pull it and tape it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think based on what I'm looking at, those are a wire bead tire, so those are not tubeless ready tires.
Later, I'm trying to blow those things up and just do something else. Also, a tan wall would look nice on there, I think too.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how much I wanted to ride that bike. I mean, it was too small for me, but still. Yeah, Spark almost talked me into getting the matching green, the aqua one with her. And it was this close. I was like, why'd you make me ride that? They always do that. Like, just ride this. Just take it for a ride.
Just ride it. There's no harm.
Parking lot. There's no harm. Biggest lie a salesman will ever tell you. What's the harm in taking it and trying it out? No. Take it for the weekend. No. Get out of here. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm firmly in gravel now. It's enjoyable and it's awesome.
And this is now officially taken over by me as the GravelTalk podcast.
Now, should we just do this every time we switch? Yeah, Ryley's completed the transition. I mean, I still ride bikes. I was at Trestle Bike Park not too long ago. Like, you know,
but we're not talking about that right now.
We should do every time we do like next time we do beach cruiser talk, and then we can do like penny farthing talk. You know what I mean?
We change the name of the podcast on Spotify every time we release an episode.
Yes, that would be confusing to everyone.
Yeah, no one would find it.
So yeah, what's now Gravel Talk? Dude, I'm firmly into it. This putting this together was fun. Shimano mineral oil is actually not a lot better than a lot of other oils I've used. It kind of comes off nice and easy, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's decently easy to work with, as far as oils go.
I was bleeding. That was actually not that. It was probably the easiest part. I had all the kit with all the little bleed valves and syringes. It was sweet. The hardest thing that still befuddles me is the front derailleur. It's like I feel like those automatic transmissions, rotary engines, and like a couple of other things are basically black magic. No one knows how they work. Like, I don't know. It just rubs no matter what I do at the low end. In the middle, I can basically ride middle gears. It's great. It's quiet as hell. It's smooth as hell. Anywhere near any of the top ends, and I'm like, okay, why is it rubbing again? So it's been fun. That's a lie, but it's been interesting.
A learning experience.
Yeah, I think it's firmly worse now than when it was like I just literally bolted on the first time, and I was like, oh, the ship's great, and then I moved it, and it's never been. And now I'm like, God damn it!
That's the key.
It's 1 to 3 millimeters away. What the hell's the big deal here? And I don't know. Rear one's was fine actually. That was the easiest part.
Yeah.
It's got rack points in the back. I might put a rack on it, but it kind of looks dumb with a rack. But I like the rack. I like it's sexier without a rack. You know.
Well, you know what you have to do because the one you have is the gravel bike, but you need a touring bike too.
I mean, I could just make it into a touring bike by throwing the rack on it. Right?
No, you can't. You have to have dedicated bikes.
I need if I'm gonna get a touring bike, it has to be a pinion drive or
yes,
EMT something.
A shaft drive.
Now we're talking ridiculous. Okay, I want in on shaft drive. Okay, shaft drive and touring bike. My dropper post is entirely not going to work, but I'm running it because it's all I have right now. It's maybe you should see how. Can I move? I wonder if I can disconnect this. No. you can see. You can't see because the GoPro doesn't zoom. But you see how
Well,
low?
just move the bike.
It's kind of. I kind of can't. It's kind of stuck there.
Oh.
And the GoPro's tethered because I'm using it as a. So, but you can kind of see how. Look at the neck on that dropper. It's like barely out of the seat collar, you know? So.
Yeah.
I
Now
probably
this
have
is.
to sell that and get something
This
that
is.
fits. Well, there goes an iPad.
Yeah, this is where we were talking about. Let's see, because what travel is that dropper post?
That's I get a 150 millimeter Kitsuma externally routed because I couldn't do an internal.
That is crazy. You have 150 mil of travel on a gravel bike?
Yes, sir. It slams. The seat is out of the way and gone whenever I want it to be. That's the only
Yeah, but its
upside.
highest point is way too high.
Oh, exactly. So I just ride with it basically about mid travel. Feels great. Just on the dropper extension every single time.
Every time
never
you
extends
bring it up.
past like 75. So yeah, it's been fun. I basically, you need a feel for it, I guess. It's super. It's one of these things that nobody else would probably be okay with, except for idiots like us, where it's like, I can adjust, whatever, it's fine. You know?
So here's what I recommended this to you the other day. I have had good luck with the X Fusion dropper.
And enter X Fusion. I'm looking at X Fusion.
Yes, so I have the X Fusion Manic Gravel.
Cross country trail, all mountain enduro
on one of my bikes. So the Manic Gravel is available in 50 mil travel or 100 mil travel. So just kind of measure out how much you can do, and then pick one.
Oh, the OD is 31.62, huh?
For the normal Manic, yes. For the Manic Gravel, it comes in a 27.2, but you can just grab a shim to shim it out to 30.9.
I hate that sentence.
The shim.
Grab a shim. The shims suck.
Yes. So ideally, you can run that 100 mil travel one.
As a basic compromise and hope you can put it down jammed enough. All right, so the 100 mil travel. But is that external?
What did you say? No, they have an internal.
Okay. Well, I need the external one.
Oh, you need the external.
That's the other issue I ran into where I was like, this is the only one I could find.
Do you really though?
Well, I mean, I could get a drill.
Yes.
But there's
no warranty person who's listening from Merlin Warranty.
I did not take a drill to my bike.
We are not discussing this.
Let's clarify that. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't do that. But there's no entry point.
Do that.
There's no entry point for an internal route. Otherwise, kind of,
Okay.
It's ugly, but I mean, I guess it's
all right. What's the bike you have? Is it the Malt?
They gotta come up with a better name. The Malt G2X.
Is that really the
I'm not kidding. Like, why Malt? Like, is that someone's dad's name or something? Because I feel like just the Merlin G2X is a way better name, like branding wise.
Anyway.
Merlin, if you guys are watching, I love your bikes, but I mean, come on, seriously, the Malt. I mean, is that something that's British that we don't know?
And is that a Hunt fork on there?
No, I don't think. Well, I don't know. I think it's just their own in-house one. Unless you can tell it's a Hunt. How do I tell it's a Hunt?
No, it just says carbon.
Carbon. Yeah. So I wanted basically the through axles with the flat mounts.
So it's just theirs.
It's fairly light. Surprised.
So here's my question: where's the front derailleur port? Where does the front derailleur cable come out? The bottom?
Yeah. Yes, I know. And then it has the stays to expose the derailleur cable. I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's quite enough room to get around that bottom bracket.
Right? That's why I kept running into it. And I was like, there's no way to route around unless they'd put like a buttress above with like a an opening, but they didn't.
So I'll tell you a secret.
Don't use a dropper.
Right? I'll tell you a secret.
Oh God!
You need to keep this between us.
Here's some knowledge.
All right. And any Trek warranty guys, please leave. Turn off the podcast.
Let's remotely shut them off.
Don't come back to this episode. I drilled my frame for my dropper.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, man. Just going right through the whole thing, right? Oh, that scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, with a
Yeah.
frame that cheap though, it's aluminum. It's not
Well,
gonna rust.
that was kind of my thought. I've had my frame for 6 years now.
Yeah,
So
and it's a Trek frame, so you have a press fit bottom bracket, don't you?
yes.
You poor bastard. So you've never had any issues with any crap getting in either, huh?
In what?
The holes you didn't or may not have drilled in your frame.
No, because see, you can grab. There are these rubber plugs that you can grab that are used for as a
Ah,
as a as a plug for. Actually, a lot of different brands out there seem to use the same plug.
I see.
I've noticed them come with Salsa and Marin are the two big ones that I've seen come with them. But those plugs, they're these little rectangular like frame port plugs that work great. You just slip that in there, and then your cable goes right through.
You're a smart little devil, aren't you?
That was actually
Who'd you steal that from?
someone who helped me out on that one is, and I want to give him a shout out too, Mr. Brian Gravito.
Oh, nice. What a
Um,
hookup.
yeah, and
Imparting that knowledge on you.
I do need to give him a shout out because I heard through the grapevine that he may have been riding a BMX bike around a little bit and may have not stuck the landing
Oh,
and I think broke a collarbone if I'm not mistaken.
no.
Uh, so my condolences and get well, Mr. Revito, and
Christ.
thank you for inspiring me to drill my frame. Except not if you work for Trek.
Thanks for inspiring me to not get back on a BMX bike because I wanted to do that.
Welcome back to Cautionary Tales from LiftTalk.
Hey, man, listen, everyone, listen, every time you ride and you make it, you build up a shred tax. And sometimes that tax comes due and you got to pay the shred tax, man.
That's true.
And but the good thing is once you pay a hefty toll for the shred tax, you're pretty much left alone for a while.
You're clean for a little bit.
You
Yeah.
gotta you gotta rebuild it up again. So
Yeah.
here's hoping that his shred tax is paid up now for a good long time. You know. Get
Very
well, man.
true.
Get well.
Yeah.
My we had a buddy that had his collarbone pretty bad at the beginning of the season at Thunder, and he just got cleared for like riding again, and I was like, oh yes. So there is the recovery times are pretty good now. It's unbelievable, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts and prayers to you, man, in the real way though, because we've all been there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, although by the time like that's healed, bikes might be back to normal. It might be a good time to get back. You know what I mean? Although, put it this way, people like us, they're not getting away from bikes. He's gonna be working on that shit as soon as he fucking can move the other arm. Yeah? So I hope the bike was okay.
He's probably on the trainer right now.
That's my exact point. Like you can't fall behind. You can't fall behind. You know. Hell yeah.
What else about your gravel bike?
Let's see. I'm not a huge fan of the bar tape, the salsa stuff, man. I mean, put it this way, the feel is amazing. I'm just not. It's too light. Although, will that wear in? Will that get browner with a patina?
No, it'll probably do the opposite. It'll probably wear down.
Yeah, this is my point. It's not dark enough for me. I think you know.
It's just so your problem with their bar tape is the color.
All right, and
okay.
the
and
finishing
go ahead.
tape is not even tape. Like, do you have to lick it to get it to stick? What the hell was I missing?
with the little chili pepper.
Why
thing
make it
on
look that sick if it doesn't fucking
I
work?
love
You know what
that
I mean?
tape. It looks so cool.
It looks amazing. Does yours ever stick in the forever?
If you like really are like careful with it to an absurd extent, yes, you can get it to stick.
Did you hear what you just said?
Yes.
All right, I just wanted to make sure you heard what you just said. It would be. I mean, electrical tape is $1 and it works. But yeah, it's I wish they could make that stickier. Can you guys hear me? Please, I'll buy more of it. Although I will say I'm gonna go. I think with the Bond Trigger cork stuff right now because it's so soft and it's so gel and cushy, and I'm jealous and I want it. So
Gel.
the Super Cows would be nice, but there's nothing that matches this green.
Did you miss that?
I didn't miss it. We got it.
Okay.
Gel. Jelly. It's the lamest color, man. I don't know what else to tell you about that. I can't.
It's just not your brown, huh?
No, I mean the whole bike too.
What?
I mean, look at it. It's like moss, like lichen. It's like lichen and
What, you have the
gray. You know,
the like dark blue and green one, right?
it's like green. Yeah, kind of. It's like green. It's more like a gray and like a light green. Don't get me wrong. It's what how would a girl say? It's a handsome bike. You know what I mean? Like put it that way. But it's not like in your face, kick you in the teeth, neon. Like some of
Oh,
the you know what I mean?
you
Like
want something freaking crazy.
ostentatious. You know,
Ostentatious.
word of
That's
the
a
day.
good.
But
Our
yeah,
word of the day.
we need a bold bike.
If you comment that word of the day, you'll get some Raycon earbuds. Thanks to, thanks to our We're not sponsored. Don't comment
Our
ostentatious.
sponsor is Bose. We only get the cool stuff.
Ooh.
But yeah, if this paint ever starts to suck, I'm gonna just citrus strip it, hey, and go nuts with sprayed out bike.
Thank
on
you
it,
to our sponsor, Citrus Strip.
yeah, and yeah, just color it. I don't know what, but maybe do like a gradient fade. But like, I want to do those colors when it's inside, and then it changes to different color on the outside, and it looks amazing. But I'll probably screw it up.
So
But
here's the thing with painting, right? Is it is an absolute blast to mess around with spray paints and like make your bike cool, right?
yeah,
Here's the flip side of paints is it voids your warranty hardcore.
yes,
Except there are a select few exceptions to that. I think like Open and Rodeo Labs, you can buy like a bare frame that you paint it yourself and it's still under warranty. But
if you can Cerakote those frames.
I think you
Ooh, that
can,
would be
yeah.
sick.
But
Dear
yeah, it's
Santa.
definitely a trade-off. That's the reason that like I painted this old 920 frame and I'm looking for another frame to paint, but I want it to be old so that I don't have to worry about like warranty stuff.
I mean, how often do you warranty a frame?
True, but the other side of that is like a lot of the paint on bikes nowadays is pretty damn good.
Honestly, I wouldn't paint a lot of the new stuff. It's kind of
Oh yeah.
like I said, it looks sick usually. Yeah, that's a good point. Don't mess up your nice new bikes, kids, unless you just want to drop coin. Just get a wrap. It's cooler.
Get a wrap.
Be a cool kid. Speaking of the bar tape in the bar area, that Transx hot laps dropper lever is awesome.
Wait, what's that?
Yeah.
I hear is that
What is this?
is that a gavel?
I think it is.
I hear.
Bang it. Hit the gavel.
Do you hear that approaching
Bike court.
through the night?
Yeah, who is that? The constable? Is he coming to round him up? I don't know what year this is or what. I don't
There's
know.
just a faint like knocking of a gavel coming down the hallway.
The ghost of judgments past.
What is that? Oh God, it's bike court.
No, we're gonna play the actual night court theme song there.
Put on your wigs, everyone.
Oh, we should get
Powdered wigs.
We should get the powdered
robes.
wigs of like make them out of like bike caps.
Get them on out. Jury, assemble. All rise for the honorable judge. LiftTalk us.
How many people can we get in a Zoom chat?
Why? Who
Can
do
we
you
get
want to
it?
invite right now?
No, because we could do a jury of their bike peers and do it on trial right now live. You know. Remember this for bike court, please. All right.
Yes.
We need a list of like 3 or 4 a panel of jurors. How's that? Oh, bike court jurors. We're doing it.
Yes, but we get to decide when they talk. They're all muted. It's like the opposite of a presidential debate where they're all muted.
That sounds ideal. That sounds
until
great.
we allow them to talk for like, and we give them like little like snippets of talk, like 2 seconds at a time, so they can try to say a sentence and it'll just come out choppy.
And then we'll just yell over them anyway.
And then exactly.
So yeah, we'll work on getting a bike court jury together. But yeah, the proceedings. Are we proceeding with this or no?
Yes. All rise. Okay.
Sir,
Everyone
Honorable
be
Judge
seated.
Ryley.
Honorable.
Honorable Judge Newton.
No, we're both the judge today.
Oh.
I think.
I want to be the bailiff. I'm gonna get handcuffs.
You can be the bailiff.
I'm putting someone in chains today. I mean that in a non-weird way. I take that back. I'm gonna be a judge now. So.
All right.
That got weird.
Put on the powdered wig. All right. So on the I need to learn some like court terms here so I can actually sound like a courtly
The long con, just go to law
gentleman.
school, and then you'll be all set. And then you'll also be all set.
That sounds like money well spent.
Yeah, yeah.
So, who we have on the defense today is dropper posts. You know them well. They might be your best friends. They are seat posts which lift up and down at the push of a button to adjust your saddle height on the fly while you are out for a bicycle ride.
Why would you describe dropper posts as a sheet that lifts up and down instead of a post that drops? A seat post that drops? No?
Are you putting me on trial here? What is this?
No, I take it back.
Okay, thank you.
Dropper posts are still on trial.
So, I mean, there's a lot to. Let's be fair here. There's a lot to put dropper posts on trial for.
Significant amount.
Yes, I will say, in the last like 10 years, they are one of the items that has revolutionized I would say the mountain bike side of things more, but the bike industry in general.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one.
Okay, cool. So we're square there. I take issue with a lot of companies out there that seem to be very slow on the uptake with how they update their droppers and are still running essentially dropper technology from the early days of dropper posts that is pretty antiquated at this point. What I am putting on trial right now, as this is an episode of GravelTalk, is
GravelTalk now.
GravelTalk. I like it. All right, now we're a courtroom only podcast. We just talk about court cases. How about that Roe v. Wade?
That's a nice recent one. Yeah, definitely. Court cases within the last 50 years.
So there's an issue with dropper posts these days in that a lot of people, I say a lot, in my circle, a lot of people being me, Ed, and yes, there are other people out there that I know are doing this.
I know people.
I do know people who are trying to put dropper posts on their gravel or in some cases road or cross or whatever bikes. So a drop bar bike with a dropper post. It could be your drop bar mountain bike. It could be any number of things. The solutions for that at the moment are much like the actual post itself. The solutions for that have expanded greatly just in like the last year.
Yeah. There was nothing.
There was literally nothing. Like probably like 2 years ago, the solutions were nil.
Didn't you have some weird Newton adapted thing, don't you?
Not anymore, but I did.
Yeah, all right.
So let's go back a little ways. Back in the good old days when droppers were in their early days, we had Specialized had the command post, carbony, fancy post. I don't know what the model name was, but it was the command post in carbon, and it was a race. Here, let me see if I can find the picture of the one that I had.
Wasn't there one before that where it was like a manual dropper? You had to reach back and like undo a hinge.
Yes. So those, I'm not worried about those right now. I'm going
actuated droppers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It might have been the IRCC.
It says Pink Bike in 2015. Yeah. Is that it?
Maybe.
10 positions.
No, it's not the IRCC.
What a horrible name! What a horrible name!
I don't know. It sounds pretty.
The internally returning carbon command post. Give me a goddamn,
Okay, here
fire
it is.
that guy.
I think it's called the XCP.
Even worse name.
Yes. Look up the Specialized Command Post XCP. All right. Now this is an interesting seat post. You see it?
Come on, Comcast. Discontinued online. Yeah, look, it's kind of why is it flared towards the top? So basically the mechanism is all external basically, huh?
Yeah, so this was a seat post that was made to fit into a 27.2 millimeter uh, seat post diameter.
Interesting.
And at the time, all of our, or at least specialized dropper technology, was too big to fit into that size of a seat post. So what they did
There's a joke in
was
there somewhere.
they gave it a weird, um, like cancerous growth at the top that the dropper internals could be in. So it just kind of flared outwards like that.
It has a
Now,
bulbous head, if you would. Yeah, that's also another bad phrase. Okay, yeah, it just does look like that though. It looks stupid as
it
heck.
does. It does. Anyway, so for me, when I was trying to put a dropper post on my cross bike in like 2014 or 2015, I was like, dude, sweet, there's a 27.2 dropper out there. Let's set this thing up. Unfortunately, uh, two or three big issues with this seat post. Um, Number one is they had some decent quality control issues with this seat
A-
post.
AKA it sucked.
Yes.
Okay.
So the functionality of the post was meh at best.
In doubt.
Yes. The second problem, because of that bulbous head. I
It's
mean,
too easy.
I
It's
don't
too
have
easy.
any I
It's
don't
too
have any
easy,
other
right?
way to
Yeah.
refer to it, right?
Exactly.
Because of that, and because of that flare that it has there, your insertion. Duh. I didn't even mean to do that one. The
I know that was. It's a term. Sorry, it's English.
how far do I go with this? The the amount that you can insert that shaft into the seat tube is limited because you can't even insert the last, say, 100 to 150 millimeters of the post.
So what's the point of having like a 20 millimeter dropper? Oh, sorry, 30. It's got 35 millimeters of travel. I didn't even see that.
I believe they had a 35 and a either a 50 or a 70.
Oh, so you're telling me
Um,
that this is fully extended? I thought it was.
oh yeah,
I thought
that is
this was
extended.
compressed. Actually,
That is extended.
that is absolutely pathetic.
Yes. So I will say 35 millimeters of travel on like a cross or a gravel bike for
Something.
me is
Something.
more than enough in most cases.
The
There are
general
some
public.
cases.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could see you. You're different though, man. You're a different breed. People that ride cross are a different breed. You know that.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yes, they're used to it being fully extended, so just that little bit is huge, right?
Yeah, I guess that's huge. That's why all the ISO speed sections and small absorbing bits are so popular in cross because it's like the small tiny things that add up basically over time.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that being a huge thing, but I can also see
But
them being like,
it
this
didn't
is
matter
stupid for the
because I
insertion.
couldn't get this seat post inserted to a point where it was low enough for me in that frame.
To actually ride. So your situation is basically like me, where I'm like extend the dropper. I'm like I feel like a giant on this. Or it's like,
Yes, it was like that, except I only had 35 millimeters of drop, and this 35 mil of drop, may I also add, is only a two position. It's not an infinite adjust. So
oh, it's up or down. That sucks.
yes, you can't go in between. Which again, with 35 mil of travel, isn't a big deal, but
You can't adjust any. You can't get like that's weird.
the insertion was too little. Like I couldn't get it down to a point. Stop it. That's enough. This is
It's almost like they didn't test it
order.
before they.
I will have order.
Gavel time. It's almost like they just didn't test it when they released it, huh? I mean,
Yeah, I mean
long
they
term,
made
maybe,
it
you know?
they made it for the market that existed at that time, right?
yeah, I guess that's not even a crime. You know what I mean? I guess
Yeah.
it's just we've come so far now.
But anyway, it also didn't really work that well. So,
It also sucked.
fast forward, say another few years, like 2 or 3 maybe.
That
Ooh.
was the fast forward.
And who's that comes onto the scene? Oh look, it's PNW. They're a company called PNW after like Pacific Northwest, I guess.
I
Makes
guess.
sense, right?
I guess.
They start making like mountain bike parts, and then eventually they're like, you know what would be cool actually is like a dropper post for like not mountain bikes, for like gravelly like drop bar mountain bikes. So they start making I think they have the Pine
see.
27.2. I think is the first one they started doing for that.
Pine 27.2 external. Yeah.
Yeah.
Decent price on that.
So they started making that at a cool price, cool little post. It's a 27.2 mil diameter. Awesome,
Oh, that
right?
90 millimeter would have been perfect.
I think at the time they only had a 100 when I got it.
Mm.
So get the 100 mil dropper, put it on the bike. Ends up it's still too tall. Okay. I there's another problem though, and this is getting to the core of our issue here. Ready? Is this dropper post? All right, let's back up a second and think about fundamentals of a dropper post, right? So you have two different ways to actuate a dropper post. You have hydraulic, which isn't actually a way that we should talk about because I don't like that at all.
It sucks.
And we have cable actuated. All
It's
right,
good.
it's good. Ding ding ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
So with a cable actuated dropper post, obviously it's a cable, it's a shift cable, and you have to figure out. So with that shift cable has a shift head to it, right? So the little barrel at the end of that shift cable, and that little barrel has to go somewhere, right? So you end up with the and this does happen in mountain bike droppers as well, where you have this shift cable with a shift head to it, and you have so this pine dropper is a dropper post that is designed to take the shift head at the seat post. Does that make sense? Is this tracking
We're doing
for
good.
everyone? All right. Now you run the cable all the way through the frame, and you need to clamp it at the lever. Now, the problem that arises is a lot of these levers now are like pirated or jerry-rigged shift levers. And a jerry-rigged shift lever needs the cable head at its end because you can't clamp that cable at the shift lever. So now you have you basically just have mismatched lever and dropper because you have a lever that needs a shift head and you have a seat post that needs a shift head.
And you have a lot of anger.
Yes.
A lot of
This
anger.
is where Ed wound up with which bike was this on that you were trying to figure this out? Was this on the
Every single one of them.
every single one?
It's been
And
amazing.
this hasn't just been happening in the the drop bar stuff, because there are mountain bike dropper levers that need the shift head versus
Exactly.
droppers that need the shift head. So there's this whole it's ended up not standardized at all, right? And there's really a few scenarios that happen here is you end up with the right scenario, which is you have a dropper that matches the lever, right?
Yes.
But with so many droppers not coming with levers these days, that's become a lot trickier because you have to buy your own lever. Might buy the lever that takes the wrong end, et cetera, et cetera. A few companies out there have started making dual compatible shift levers. Now that's on the mountain bike side. So that's a dropper lever that can take either the shifter head or be clamped at the lever.
Exactly.
So that's cool. Unfortunately, with a drop bar shifter, we don't have that luxury, right? We just can't mess with the shift lever side. Now there are dropper posts as well that have been made that have that dual compatibility to them, where you can do either or. But again, unfortunately, that's not all of them.
Again, very few and far between, though.
Yes. And then the other scenario that we see happen, which is not as big a deal, is if both the dropper and the dropper lever have the clamp end, you can kind of finagle it and just cut either end and clamp them there.
Yeah.
That's something that's workable.
Go
Yep, go ahead.
It's like you said, outside of standardization, like something like, for example, the cables come pre-done with the each end is basically has an end already, or you solder an end on one of the ends after you cut them. It's frustrating. But like you said, there has been some, like say for example, a lever like, I mean, I ran into this with my P&W stuff. But however, the P&W is a pull type, which doesn't require the barrel end. It has a built-in, bolt tension on itself. But like you said, it's just kind of what the company wants to do. It's so frustrating. There's not like we should do this or this should do the way it's done.
I mean, here's the thing as well is like it came from good intentions, right? Because when droppers were first a thing, they were all routed with the shift head at the dropper lever. And so you would do that, and it was a pain in the butt because you had to route it through the dropper and then like clamp it at the seat post, and you would have to trim it at the seat post and make sure your housing was right, because if you didn't make sure your housing was the right length, then it would be too tight.
That's a paddling.
It was just a mess. That's a paddling.
That's a paddling.
That's a paddling. So the idea of putting that shift head at the post itself is an awesome, like, much easier to work with, but not when we're looking at we just now have that two different types of lever and two different types of post. So the solution would be either make sure that all of the posts and all of the levers have that dual compatibility to them.
Yes.
Which is not going to happen.
No.
Especially when we're looking at a dropper lever that is always going to need the shift head.
Yes.
And the other solution, which I am making a call on to anyone who'd like to tackle this, I'm looking at you like problem solvers, whoever, is to make a small, like a barrel clamp that is just literally like a shift head instead of those larger barrels. Now, I'm sure that that's like way too small to manufacture in an efficient way, but at the moment with how these parts are, I think it's worthwhile.
All right, so I have an example maybe of something. I've seen these little barrel
It's called a
stops
NARP,
with an
right?
adjust.
It's called a NARP.
NARP,
Yeah.
okay.
You NARP.
But the ones I've seen have been too large, it appears.
Yes.
I mean, either that or we make it so that at the end, like I said, the dual compatibility, even if you can make it dual compatible just at the actuation point on the seat post,
yes, that would be huge.
That would be huge, and that would be enough where I think it would almost
because then you're compensating for everything else.
Exactly. It basically alleviates and gives you every other option.
You're compensating for every eventuality.
And I wish, the one I have now, even the one I have now is kind of like, I guess I'll do it this way with a crimp and it works, but I don't know knock on wood.
with this P&W that I had, and again, this is at the time, I don't know if it's changed since.
Yeah.
But the P&W Pine that I had was supposed to take the shift head at the post.
Okay.
So what I had to do, which did not end great, was grab one of those bigger NARPs or like cable anchors.
Yeah.
And just hammer it into the post.
Yeah, just be like, okay, let me just mash this thing in here.
Yes. Another thing that I've had to do is you just take one of those and grind it down until it'll fit.
Yeah.
But that is such a pain, and probably like it's just not ideal, right?
No.
Because it's ultimately going to add friction to the system.
You're not going to be able to warranty it, and it's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
It's going to cause more issues.
It's going to add so much friction to that system that it's never going to work ideally.
And meanwhile, the anxiety that's going to be caused because you freaking know that it's this thing that's possibly waiting to goddamn explode on you while you're on the trail. It's not, that's not something to be ignored, My shoddy work is horrifying to myself, you know what I mean? Like, who the hell knows, man?
So anyway, I think... Do you have any other evidence to present against dropper posts?
Against them? Some of them are ugly as hell. Like I
Alright.
don't get like why there's like dashes on the top of this one for no reason. Am I missing something? So like
Which one? Which one are you looking at?
the Transex dropper lever, the hot laps dropper lever, Kitsuma 1X dropper. No, 2X. Hot lap dropper bar dropper lever.
Oh, that's so you can tell where you're actuating it, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. What am I measuring fish on there? Like what the hell
You're
is that?
measuring
Like
fish.
I don't get it. So yeah, it's just make it black, man. Just leave Transex on there. It looks cool the way it is. I was looking at the wolf tooth bar end mount. You ever see that one?
Yes. Um,
Interesting, but I don't know if you had to route it internally. I'm gonna put some more of them here. Let's see. This is a wolf tooth one. There. This is also when I found that I didn't have. I found it in stock in a couple places. It's expensive, but I couldn't find much on it. It's the Shimano Pro. Have you heard anything about that?
yes.
It's that second
So
link. It's like, what in the heck is that?
yeah, so Pro started. So Shimano owns Pro,
Okay.
and Pro started making this one is very similar to that Transex one that you're looking at.
Okay.
And they also have one that is designed to work with their GRX setup to like basically bolt into their
Like a matchmaker mount or something.
their yes, yeah, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, it works in a very similar way. The wolf tooth one, I am not as big a fan of. I'll tell you the one that I hate the most is I
Ooh.
think actually KS and PNW. Sorry, PNW.
The Rainier.
No, so they have a lever that goes on the tops of the handlebars, like near the stem on a drop bar.
Oh, like the 2X. Yeah,
Yes.
I've used. That's not bad, but you can't grab it from the hoods.
Exactly. You can't grab it from anywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of sucky unless
You
you.
have to.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with when you want to drop your dropper, you want to be able to do it quick because you have like a steep bit coming up or something.
Dude, like it's
You don't
hot,
want
man.
to have to move your hand away from the most stable position on the bike.
There's a reason why it's dropping like it's hot.
Uh,
I think more with the advent of 1X drivetrains, I think more people are going to use the left brifter for a
Yes.
dropper actuator.
which is why these dropper posts need to be more adaptable, I think, and just able to run. So the X Fusion is a clamp at the post, and I get it that like the clamp at the post idea has been such a like we've gotten away from it because it was horrendous at the
Because
start.
do you think it's? I mean, do you think it'd be worse reliability wise to have the clamp at the post as opposed to the end, the cable end at the post?
No, it's just harder to set up.
Yeah, initially you think so. Yeah.
Yes, but it's harder to set up, but it's not impossible to set up like what we're running into.
Yeah, because I mean, both use the bar end setup on the end of the cables. Great. I'm cutting one of these to run this cable anyway, so
Yeah.
I basically have no choice, basically, to kind of finagle some hack and bodge with the other end of it and pray it sticks together. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just so frustrating. And
If anyone can think of a solution that doesn't involve us like soldering the cables together,
although
it'll be-
speaking of soldering, it actually really wouldn't be that hard to basically take like a 1 millimeter bit, cut off one of those heads, punch straight through the lead because it's soft, and then drop some solder on the things afterwards. But you'd have to like hold it in the exact correct position and then hope you soldered it
Yes.
and didn't get a cold joint.
and you'd
all that stuff.
also a lot of these dropper posts are being run through full housing, so you'd have to do that through the housing.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you do that?
Yeah. Magic, you just become David Blaine.
Magic.
David Blaine could do it.
David Blaine could
you
have
hear that?
done it.
And it's, I mean, with how popular gravel's getting, like this is only going to be a matter of time, I think, before
Yes,
some
someone's going to come
company
up with a
is gonna be
solution.
like, hey, look at this.
Or
you know?
they're just going to start doing a gravel specific dropper post that clamps at the post.
Why don't we have a button?
and-
Give me a electromechanical dropper actuator now. Make me run just a single electric wire all the way from my small button on the side of my hood, almost like DO2, but not as sucky, and then just basically mount it to the box on the actuator on the seat post itself, right? Or in the bottom
Well,
of it.
that's the Rock Sharks E-Verb.
Yeah.
You don't sound very happy about that.
I don't think anybody with an e-verb loves it. That's what I've heard.
No?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's exactly that. I guess I'm just going to go wireless dropper. I just want a wireless button a drop bar now. Screw it. That's my next step. Is just gonna go to a wireless dropper.
All right, get your Raspberry Pi out and start programming that for me.
That would actually be fairly sick. You could have like different profiles. Like I don't know. I'm feeling like a man today, and like it's like a million miles an hour re-extension.
One thing that I had wanted to do is, and you could probably get this to work, but it would be a challenge. Is you get just a Di2 and you set up your drivetrain 1x,
Yeah.
but you have a right Di2 lever and a left Di2 lever, and you find a front derailleur, right? And you gut it, and you find just the little servo motor.
And use that as the dropper actuator.
And use that as the dropper actuator. You hook it up to the cable, which pulls the little actuator on the dropper, and the dropper goes and does its thing.
That might be a pretty sweet hack.
Yeah, I don't electrocute yourself, kids, but
you just basically need to know where you pull it apart and get access.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to do any programming to it.
You just have to get Di2.
You just make sure. Yep. And you'd have to be willing to gut a front derailleur.
That's an expensive proposition.
I don't know. Front derailleurs, even Di2 ones, are not the most used things these days.
Can I retrofit Di2 to my regular mechanical L-Tiger drifters, the R8020s?
Only if you buy one of those like weird upgrade kits from like Archer or like X-Shift or whatever they're called.
Yeah. Next one. Next one, I'm just gonna be no cables. How's that? I'm going all axis. I'm doing what
Axis brakes.
Doing what Tommy did. I'm not even gonna use brakes. F brakes, okay?
Oh.
Less cables, more
Do
risk.
a fixie with gears. A geared fixie.
Actually, that sounds ridiculous. I like it.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. You have to freewheel to use it.
I mean, I guess we could use some cables if we needed to. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if this is an issue that's going to be solved, and I sentence goddamn bike dropper post companies to eternity in goddamn bike hell if they don't fix this shit soon. I'm going to make them all use self-actuating goddamn hand droppers if they don't.
Ooh, yes. They have to all use height rights.
This is your goddamn punishment.
This is your...
And I'm taking the saddles off.
Ooh.
Yeah, so come on. This is something that shouldn't exist from buying a $200 dropper, and it's basically like, will it work with my goddamn dropper lever of choice? Like, who the fuck knows? I just paid $80 for this lever, too. It's just super annoying. That's all. And you can
all right,
tell
sentence delivered.
To everyone, all of you, no one in particular.
I would also like actually something that would be a nice little like compromise would even just be figuring out a way to label them so that you can tell immediately which type of lever
the
or
good
dropper
kind,
it is.
the
Like,
bad kind.
Well, just which kind of actuation it is, where the shift head is supposed to go on that lever. Because in my research, I have not found one that tells you like just very plainly like shifter head at the lever.
Oh, so that wasn't
at the post.
That wasn't just me then?
No.
Because I got this lever and there's no instructions, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think it goes this way.
Yeah.
So I used an old shifter with cable to test it 3 times in different configurations before I figured out which way it was actually routed.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for making that magic and mystery to solve.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much. You just have to write that out on the product description somewhere.
Or shoot a YouTube video. You guys are all on freaking social media. Nobody can make a 5-minute video of how to. Hey, this is how you install this dropper. It took me 8 seconds to do that, and it's easy to me because I'm the company that made this. Does that sound so out of line? Get your marketing departments on this shit. Are you serious?
I don't know. That sounds a little tricky.
Yeah.
That sounds a little.
Get what's his face from Jensen. You do it. He's good in front of the camera. Come on, guys. Yeah, so for now, I'm going to live with the Transax, and I've been living with it. It's pretty good, actually. I'm not going to lie. For the times I have used my improperly fitting dropper, it's been good. But I'm dreading now changing it, so can't wait.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome.
Thanks for bringing that up. I'm pissed now. Yeah, what else? Oh, While we're at bike court, I think I'm going to bring out a brief one maybe. I don't know if we're going to spend the whole
A mini bike court.
mini bike court. Dude,
Let me get out my
gavel
mini
back. Hold on.
novelty gavel.
There goes my small wig for the small mini bike
Yep,
court.
it's just a novelty gavel. It squeaks when I hit it.
It has a picture of a baby shark on it.
Yes.
This is just because the bike colors don't match. Like, no one can get with any other company and be like, hey, this is a palette. Can we all share something? Like, there's a billion colors literally that you can see with your human eyes, and no one can pick, hey, we're all going to pull from this pool of, I don't know, a billion of the same goddamn color.
I don't know. This Miami green color has seemed pretty consistent these last few years, regardless of bike brand.
I guess
but it is
some
also
colors,
competing
like black,
with
Miami
Yeti
green.
Teal.
Oh, wait, let me see that Yeti teal.
Like Miami green is competing with the Yeti Teal and the Bianchi Celeste. So those two colors are still out there because they're still pretty popular.
Bianchi Celeste's going to lose because it sounds stupid.
Ooh,
I mean,
rough.
It's accurate. Ooh, actually, that's a pretty color.
But Miami green has been has penetrated the market well.
Again with the euphemisms.
Yeah, I didn't have another word for it. I'm sorry.
I mean, Jaguar does make a shift kit in Bianchi Celeste, I guess. That's kind of sick. That color is nice.
Yes.
I take that back. Oh, I don't take that back. That name's still stupid, but the color is amazing. And what'd you say else? Miami green.
Miami green. Now, don't confuse this with the Miami Dolphins or whatever.
Crockett Miami green.
Yes.
Okay. Huh. Still like the Miami green. Ooh, this guy's got a nice paint. This is a nice bike. Pink on the inside. Oh my god, that's a sassy machine. All right. I still don't care. They're all in preemptive. We're watching our double secret probation. We got our eyes on you because the shit's not matching my bike and it's annoying. Get your shit together. Get a common color RGB color palette with the color codes. Come on. Everybody does graphic design. Everybody knows this.
You think they would share stuff between? Nah, they ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
cooperation. What are you talking about?
For the greater good of mankind. Get out of here. We're out here for profits. Wow, that's a lot of Trek Miami green bikes that are nice. I gotta stop looking at bikes right now. Anyway, you ever do that and you get sucked into them? So yeah, sentence you to probation. Get your shit together. I'm warning you.
Well, on that note.
On that note.
What else you got there, Ed? I think I'm feeling pretty.
That's pretty long. That was pretty long chat.
Pretty justiced out.
Yeah, that's good.
I think we delivered some nice bike.
I don't know if
punishment.
It landed, but we delivered it.
We delivered it, and that's all that matters.
Do we have any more? Do I have more rants to go? Oh, I can go more rants, but it's not bike court. What else? Oh, Gravel, you guys in your goddamn packs and bags? Jesus. Fucking bike packers everywhere. Also, why is an Apodera bag like $90 for the top? Is it just, it's waterproof, so it's $1 million?
It's that good.
Come on. That being said, I did find a custom bag guy out in California, Kai Venture Bags, that makes awesome stuff.
There's some cool, I will say, like the bag companies are really cool. And like, I feel like they're getting saturated now, but
right?
There's so many of them out there, and they all have their own kind of cool little spin that they do.
Yeah. I don't want to buy another. I bought my girlfriend a nice one, and I don't want to buy another expensive one for myself. So I'm going to get the cheapest one I could find on Amazon that looks like it could use it, and I'm just going to go and see if it sucks. It might. Who knows? Maybe I have some shit that gets wet, but oh well, beat spending like $80. Well, I have to do my chain. That's going to be we should do the video on how to size a chain and not suck at it. I don't know if I trust myself, but we're going to find out. I might just take this one and make it look the same length and just do it that way and cheat. I don't know. I mean, it's worked before. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because I've never done a road bike. I don't know if there's any difference. Do you do like...
Yeah, you ready for the little trick?
Oh, what is... Oh, sorry. You did say there was a trick then. All right. What is it?
All right. So the trick that people will get mad at me for saying is refer to manuals and manufacturer specifications, because they do. If you go to, because this is a Shimano drivetrain, you'd go to si.shimano.com, Plug that in. Plug that in right now.
Okay. Bring that up, Jeeves. Shimano.
This is an awesome website to keep in your back pocket.
Oh, tactical manuals.
Yeah, this is all of Shimano's tech docs.
They just give you this?
They just give you this.
Ooh, what are we looking at?
Well, what you have ST or you have R80. Is it
8020s
8020?
and 8050. Yeah, I think 8020, 8050, I think it
So you
was.
just look up, just plug in R8020 into that search bar,
Oh, dear Lord, no way.
and it'll pull up. Your dealer manual is the one that you want.
It's a DM.
Now, DM. Yep.
Dual control lever.
And you go down your
Holy
dealer
hell.
manual here, and you should be able to click on. I wonder if there's a. I don't know if this one has a chain on here actually.
Adjustment. Installation.
Yeah, you might have to look for a chain manual. Like.
Interesting. Like a Shimano.
Anyway, this is an
11 chain manual, something, whatever it was.
Yeah, so HG 90111. Plug in that. Or just HG 901.
In that same thing, huh?
In the field, yep.
Yeah, there it is.
And then there's a dealer manual for CN HG 901-11 Road. Shimano
MTB,
Road.
Shimano.
And
Chain speed, limit speed manual.
I think everyone's left the podcast at this point, so we'll just
hey, if
we'll
they
just
have,
continue this exercise.
I hope they have a great night. No hard feeling.
But you can go to installation, and this shows you their procedure for installing a chain. So this is Shimano's procedure for installing a chain.
Ugh, pins.
They show you, well, yes.
Disgusting.
They show you in some diagrams that are semi-clear how to go about this.
Oh, wow. This is actually pretty well diagrammed. Holy shit.
Yes. So I think the one you're looking at, like right now, what we do on a road bike drivetrain for Shimano is we want to do
backwards, is reverse.
The chain around the big. So we want to put it around the large chain ring.
Okay.
Largest cog. All right. And then we're going to add 2 full links in most cases. And a full link is an inner plate, outer plate, inner plate, outer plate.
Okay, so the entire
link, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they have the plus. Now, what's +3 for? Anything in particular? To say 1, 2 plus 2 links.
+3.
1 plus link or 3 plus 3 links. That's weird.
Yeah.
I guess I've heard the +2, but I've never heard +3, so just ignore.
Oh,
that.
I think there's a lot of inconsistency with how they count links. I will say that.
Yeah.
So I think
different tooth sprockets or something.
Yeah, it looks like on that first picture they're counting links as an inner is one link and an outer is another link.
All right.
Sounds like another case for bike court. I think we'll end it here.
Well, it's enough for some executions later on. Jeez.
Before we get too deep into our next episode of Bike Court, we should probably just rename the podcast Bike Court.
That would actually be kind of funny. I like that. I like the Strava Court Instagram account, by the way. Hilarious.
There's a what?
Strava Court. They've taken the bike court idea and just done it on. Go check it out. It's funny. Some funny memes.
I'm going to see this right now.
Right now, this is serious. Let's see.
I gotta check this out. Strava Court.
It's got to be on Instagram somewhere, right?
Strava Court. Serving justice to the Strava leaderboards. I don't understand most of these. Flagging activities.
Get off my lawn, kids.
No Strava on dirt bikes.
That's for you.
I'd like to think
that's are.
I'd like to think, yeah. I'd like to think we have been loftier with our justice taking it more to the man than some Joey on a dirt biker.
Yeah,
But anyway,
and much pettier, I feel like too, which is super
yes,
important for
that's
me. You know,
important.
yeah, for me personally.
I would yeah, I think we have to end it there before I get
Because I feel like you could
too in
keep going.
depth.
It sounds like you can keep
Yeah.
going with this.
Yeah, it
Um,
does. I actually have a whole thing that I didn't talk about that I really wanted to talk about.
yeah, to grab
Um,
that,
we're gonna
copy
have
paste it.
to, yeah, we're gonna have to do another episode in like the next few days, I think,
That's fine.
so we can get that out there because I want to talk about that.
Let's
Um,
do. Yeah, we'll do that. I want to talk about the specialized status at some point too. Remind me about that.
all right.
Bike that was released but then unreleased for later.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, some information about that thing. It's gonna be sick too. Um, I see we're getting back to some a little bit more downhill orientated, but yeah, this was good. Let's do another one. Pretty much as soon as we can. You want to do like a double feature and release them both at the same time?
Yeah.
Let's do it, and we'll put this one on YouTube, I guess now too.
Yeah.
I won't put the music on it so we don't get flagged for removal. And we'll just do that from now on. Hell yeah, man! This worked out good. Zoom's not our sponsors, but I mean, if they want to sponsor it, bring it on.
I think they have enough people asking for sponsorships at this point.
Probably. Props to DVO for my new GoPro stand. It's the old spring for my coil. Works amazing. Works absolutely amazing.
That's great.
So yeah, shout to you guys. Thanks for that. Good talk, man. It's been GravelTalk with Ryley and Ed. GravelTalk
Thank
with
you all.
Ryley and Ed sounds like a late night. I like it.
Gravel court, gavel talk.
Cue outro. GravelTalk. We need a new outro. We need a new outro without a copyright claim.
No copyrights on this outro.
All right, cool. Stop recording. So now I have an MP4 of that, I think. This recorded file will be converted to an MP4 and the meeting ends. And I have the whole thing recorded on OBS.